I possess the last link of a family chain. I possess the Yehida level of this family soul, of this neshama of the family. And I'm left alone at this Yehida level, which can only be found far away, to raise the other 4 levels to their appropriate positions. In retrospect, as I look back upon my own life, I see that every detail, every facet, every moment was structured for this. The times that I was blocked, I wasn't blocked. They were impossibilities for me, because it was part of a labyrinth, part of a path that I was on, that my unconscious, or what's called unconscious, or being led through it, could only go a certain way to reach the stage that I am right now and talking like this right now. So all the decisions that I've made along the way are only like imaginary decisions. The concept of free will, or the concept of choice, which they say is what, is permissible, or has the Zadok in his neshama, in the Bria world. For the higher worlds, this is only an illusion. There's no free choice, because everything is fated from the beginning of time. Everything is an unfolding of a process that's kind of like part of an Akashic record stamped into your DNA. Even the idea that you're having free choice is stamped into the DNA. I always look at it as when you go into a restaurant and you look at the menu, and you see 6 different types of soup. I'll have the onion soup, please. Making choices, pretending, the restaurants do that to you so that you'll get your desire, rather than a prefix A, where they choose for you. And if you walk into the restaurant, you're doing their dinner. And that's what I believe I'm in. I think I'm in a prefix A, rather than, a menu, like a McDonald's menu, or the phrase that they used to use in Burger King, have it your way. Oh yes, I'll have tomato on that burger. Hold the lettuce. Actually, as an aside, or a side, it always reminds me of that movie 5 Easy Pieces, where he said, I'll have a cheese sandwich, hold the cheese, or something like that. So my whole life, to every detail, including this video, has been fated from the beginning of time. And it's the unfolding of my Yehida, the aspect which is far removed from everything else. Just like they've all died and left me. And what they left me to is my life work. To be able to raise their souls down here in the physical plane. This is the plane, and this is, again, long-winded. This Osea world is the world that you do the physical work to be able to raise the spark, so to speak, raise the souls, actually, through the other worlds. And the work that they weren't fated to do, it's for me to do for them. So I'm raising their sparks up. And you need someone in the Yehida world to be able to raise those sparks up. Someone whose sparks are already there, so to speak, in the Yehida. And that's the difference between, being a Kabbalist, a receiver of the Hey, the letter Hey. And what's that letter Hey? That's the 5. Kabbal Hey. The Kabbalist received the 5 levels of soul, and the Hey as the 5th level of soul. The Hey is the Yehida of the Aleph, of the Ein Sof, of the Mashpia of Hashem, who is represented as an Aleph because Adonai Echad, and everything is one. Everything is Aleph. And those 5 souls cover and hover over the Aleph. And that 5th level is almost like, a part of the Aleph. The 5th and the 6th level are like part of the Aleph. And that's what we have. So instead of giving details with numbers, I'm bringing it into the absolute here. It's my work as a Kabbalist. I'm not a student of Kabbalah or a historian of Kabbalah. I'm not teaching classes in a university and making a living out of it. Or if you've seen this, some of these people who write these big books, they've studied everything, but they're not really Kabbalists. Well, I'm a Kabbalist, a receiver of the Hey, and that Hey is the 5th level, and that's the Yehida level. Number 37 in Gematria, which is also Hevel. And what does Hevel happen? There's a great connection between Hevel and Kayin. Kayin is 160. Hevel is 30. Kayin is 160, has a strong relationship to the Zelem. Zelem is Zadok. Lamed Mem. That's 160 with the same name as Kayin. And in a certain sense, it's Kayin that raises up Hevel's soul. Because Kayin comes from a higher source. Kayin, when you go like from Aleph to Yud to Kuf, like in that. So the Kuf has a relationship to the Aleph. And the Aleph, therefore, in the name of Kayin would be Ayin, which is nothing. And so in a certain sense, this left side has to be approached. This negative, this kayan, this iron. And that's only comes in the deep, deep recesses. And in relationship to the zelem, to the body. And what does it mean? And there are two zelems, then it becomes 320. And if you have 320, that's the hardinim, which are represented on the first day of Rosh Hashanah, Leah. And you know how I do with Shalem Vehetzi, if you have the real Kayan is two Zelems. Zelem Elokim, Zelem Adonai, Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. And so that's the whole. And if it's a whole, what do? We make a whole and a half. And so we add another 160 to that, and that's 480, and that's the gematria of Sitra Akra. And that's the other side of Ein Sof. And until you're able to internalize these aspects, then you're only in the positive thinking world. You're only on the front side of the coin, but not the back. You're only here, but not there. And so these are deep, deep recesses of the soul, and that's what you have, the ability to explore here on physical earth, to sensate and elevate these levels of the soul, and to be able to raise these levels of the soul by recognition, and by letting it follow through, and by you stepping out of it. But you need a body for this. Your body is your vessel, your kli, kaf, lamed, yud, 60, which is not much different than what I showed earlier in the two worlds of Haya and Yehida, 23 for Haya and 37, as we said, for Yehida, and that becomes 60. And that's the circle, and that's the Kli, the cup which contains. So, you know, I was blessed from the very beginning. And in retrospect, every detail of my life has led me to right now. And all the paths which I thought were wrong or blocked was the only way. All this was the only way.